la español. And we are going to get started. Okay. Welcome, everyone. We are excited to have you here tonight. This is the pre-K presentation for Metzger Elementary School. And normally we would have a big open house in Teacher Peggy's classroom, but because we are all online, this is kind of our first open house where we hope to tell you all about the program, and maybe you're already enrolled in our program, or maybe you're tuning in tonight to hear about our program to register. Thor, next slide, please. So tonight you can expect we are going to tell you all about the program. You're going to get to meet our amazing teacher Peggy, our early childhood coordinator Christina Kurtz, and a bunch of other Metzger staff that are here to support you. You'll get an idea of the schedule and all that the program has to offer tonight. And we're also going to talk about your device, how to pick up your iPads, school supplies this year, and what you can expect in terms of support from Metzger. Next slide, please. Oh, I wanted to remind you too, tonight we have Q&A at the bottom of the screen. There is a little button that says Q&A, and anytime during this presentation, you can click on it and type in a question. And someone on our staff will either answer it, or if we can't answer it because we don't have the answer just yet, we will be sure to get right back to you with an answer very soon. So feel free to be clicking on that Q&A, type in your questions whenever you like. So starting out, before we get to all the great things, we have our teacher here who's going to talk all about scheduling and activities. But just to start out talking about our philosophy in our pre-K program, and really who we are is well-balanced instruction. We, in a normal setting, your child would be engaged in play-based learning with their peers in the classroom, and really learning through play with a combination of really intentional circle time. Peggy Riley, our teacher, is going to talk to you about the focus on social emotional skills and building those skills of being a good friend and working together and solving problems this year. You're also going to hear about our early literacy and early math foundations that we build for our students. But ultimately, our goal is to have kids really have a great time in learning and learn how to be great friends to each other, and be important members of positive communities. Next slide, please. So one important thing to remember is that we have a fully inclusive program at Metzger PreK, and I think we're all very, very proud of that. Inclusive pre-K just means that all students with all levels of need are included in our classroom and really celebrated in our classroom. We have students with different needs in terms of social skills, potentially different languages spoken at home, different needs in terms of learning skills, and all of those students are supported in our classroom. If we have students who are on IFSPs who have special needs, they are supported right in the classroom in partnership with Northwest Regional. So we work hard to make sure that their speech therapy or any other services that they need are really integrated into the classroom so that they don't miss out on any of that important peer and play time while they're getting their additional services. Okay, next slide, please. Now, we would love to introduce you to the incredible pre-K team. It's impossible not to smile when you look at these three ladies. Right in the middle, and I want to make sure, yep, right in the middle, we have our teacher, Peggy Riley, incredible. And she's going to talk to you guys later on this evening. She has an incredible background in special education and early childhood. And next to her on the left-hand side is Deletta. And teacher Deletta is an incredible assistant in the pre-K classroom. And on the other side is teacher Shannon. And these guys are a dynamic team that just work in lockstep together to really support kids and have so much fun all day long. Next slide, please. And this is your Metzger support team here. That's me over here. Forgive the school pictures. But this is your crew. You're going to hear from Sari Hedges, our assistant principal today. Oh, next, sorry, here we go. And Emma Wagner is our school counselor, and you're going to hear about how she can even provide support to your student this year. Mario Cortez is our family partnership advocate, our family liaison, and he is the one doing the presentation in Spanish right now. Next slide, please. This is our incredible team. The first two, Debbie Small and Coco Flores, are in our office. If you have called Metzger, you've most likely spoken to Debbie. And these guys are all here to just help you out. Any questions you ever have, you email Metzger office or you call the Metzger office, and we will be there to support you and get you to the right place. Next, we have Joyce Hayner and Jezebel Centeno, who are specialists in literacy, all things literacy and language. You're going to hear from them tonight as well. Next slide, please. All right, I'm going to pass it over to Peggy Riley, who's going to talk through our schedule in detail and then show you another fun way to look at the schedule.
All right, well, it's nice to meet everybody virtually tonight. I'm so excited to meet your children and welcome them to my virtual classroom. The schedule is projected here. You can see that every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there will be a live circle time. So we'll have that touch point every day that we come together and we do our routine together, which will provide some much needed structure during this time. I know that I'm looking forward to my children starting school and having that structure. And then, so Wednesdays, that will be the only live instruction would be the circle time. But Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, there will be 2 additional pieces. I like to think of it in 3 chunks. We come together as a big group, we do our activities together, then we break up into small groups. And those small groups will look like, it might be me leading them or one of my assistants, Diletta or Shannon, and we'll have it all organized so you know exactly which link to click. And then the last chunk of the day is the virtual part, and that's the part that you would do at home. So it would either be on your tablet or it might be an activity that your child does at home with you. Maybe you take a picture to upload it to show us what they did. But there's some flexibility in there that you can do those pieces later. But I like to think of those 3 chunks: big group, small group, and then individual. And that's kind of the structure of our classroom. When we are in class, we're together and we get our big concept, we practice it together, then we break up and practice with peers, and then we're on our own to do it on our own. The virtual time, let me just give you an example. I think this will be most helpful. If you were to think of it, for example, if we were doing our Alpha Friends, the kids will learn these. These are our Alpha Friends. They're letters or items associated with a letter and a sound. So Mimi Mouse does So we might introduce that concept at circle time. For small group, we will break up with 1 teacher and fewer peers. That way we can have more peer-to-peer interaction. We might do a hands-on activity like create the letter M out of macaroni. And then after that, the virtual piece might be a scavenger hunt around your house. Let's take pictures of things that start with M. Oh, here's some markers. We'll take pictures and post those. Here's a measuring cup. So that kind of gives you an idea of how we'll kind of weave a thread through all of those things. Okay, next slide. This is more of a parent-friendly version of the schedule. So again, that big chunk, everybody together, a break so you can get a snack, go to the bathroom, and then you would click your next link to do your small group instruction. And after that, you're on your own to do the virtual piece. Next slide. So what does it look like? Here's a picture of what it looks like in the classroom we're all gathered around, and then here's a picture of what it's going to look like virtually. And the reason I posted this is to say that we have the same goals, even though it may look different. So we're going to be very creative, and we're going to work together to figure out how to make those connections even virtually. Okay, next slide. I will be contacting you in the next week to set up a 30 to 45-minute one-on-one virtual time. Our program previously started with home visits, where I would go to the home with one of my assistants and meet you and your child and just hang out and get to know you. It helps with those first day jitters. So this will be done virtually. And again, even though it looks different, it's going to have the same goals. It's a chance for us to partner to talk about what are your dreams and your goals for your child, what are your concerns, and just hopefully we'll have some playful time together so that when your child sees me on the screen and says, hey, you're my teacher, I met you already. And that is key this year, is that, and it's key with early childhood in general, is the partnership with families. And it's what's drawn me to early childhood. And I'm very excited because our virtual learning, these pieces are starting to bleed up into the older grades, that parents are becoming a more integrated part of their child's education, out of necessity. Okay, next slide. Supply pickup. Does Sari want to talk about that?
Yes, thank you, Peggy. Hi, I'm Sari Hedges. I'm the assistant principal at Metzger. And we are very excited and hopeful to see you at the iPad and supply pickup, which will be September 9th. That's next Wednesday between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. If you are unable to come pick up the supply bag that we've put together for you and the iPad that we have ready for you, we can absolutely deliver it. So please let Teacher Peggy know, let any of us at Metzger know. If you are unable to pick it up, we can deliver it to your home. That is not a problem. We want to get you all the supplies you need to be successful the first week of school. If you are able to come join us at the supply pickup, please have a paper sign in your vehicle that just clearly lists your student's name and your teacher's name, Miss Riley, Peggy Riley. And we will get you all the supplies you need as quickly as possible. Next slide, please. Additionally, with the iPad, we just wanted to give a few ideas for the device care. First of all, if you should have any problems with any technology issues with the iPad, your first step is to email us at Metzger office. We have a variety of people who can respond to that email, and we are going to triage the problem and help you get it solved. So please email us with any problems you have. Thinking about the care of your iPad, we recommend that you keep it charged as much as possible, especially when not in use. And we recommend that you find a safe place in your home for the iPad, maybe a dry place that's out of the way of any activity. And then should we return to school in a hybrid model, the iPad would be coming to school each day with your child and then back home again. So just thinking about how that might happen. Now, we are providing each student with a Metzger tote bag, and so you could talk about how that could be the way that the iPad travels to school and to home. Maybe even that's where it's stored as a safe place. If you need help with internet, this is a critical piece that we can help with as well. So please email us, call Teacher Peggy, let us know in some way, and we will get you the things that you need for this school year. Next slide, please.
Social emotional learning. So these are the programs that influence our teaching of those social emotional learning skills, which include identifying feelings in ourselves, identifying feelings in others, and how to manage those big feelings. It also works on teaching for tolerance. So we learn about diversity and how rich diversity makes our lives, and also how similar we are. And then CASEL competencies, which are things like how to be a learner, like Sari was talking about the tote bag. You know, I'm envisioning that tote bag being a big piece of how to be a learner, to keep all your supplies in your tote bag, and that's what you bring when you're ready to learn. And also problem solving skills. What do I do when my friend has what I want? We teach those skills directly. We practice them. They're part of our lessons. And one thing I want to point out is that social emotional learning, it's not a chunk of the day, it's all day long. The 4 things that we teach, social emotional learning, reading, literacy, language, and numeracy and mathematics, those are all woven in. You can't have one without the other. If you don't have language, you can't talk about your feelings. If you haven't been exposed to all these different stories through books, you don't have that wealth to draw from for problem solving or for understanding how other people are feeling. Even calendar becomes social emotional in a sense for the kids, because you know, we put down whose birthday is coming up, and then pretty soon we know whose abuela is coming to visit, and we're counting down how many days until they're there, and how we feel about that. So it's all interwoven. So I just want you to know it's not put your head on, we're doing our social emotional learning. Okay, now it's numeracy. It is all interwoven as it is in real life. Okay, next slide. Supporting peer interactions. So something you might be wondering, we talked about how it looks different. We won't have that opportunity for free play. And I don't want to say we won't have that opportunity, because we will. We'll figure it out. We're going to use our imaginations. This is our program to build and to figure out how it's going to work. But we begin the year with a unit on ourselves and our families, and we learn each other's stories. We learn each other's names. Names are huge. Again, as I said, things are interwoven. When they first learn letters, it's whose name starts with this letter. Whose name has this letter at the end? Oh, whose name doesn't have this letter? Oh no! Everything is tied together. And that sense of belonging, I always say we become a class family, we become a community. And this visual that I put in here is to show you that this step of pre-K is that first step in broadening your child's world. You know, you've got your core and your family, and now we're going a little wider, and we're going to have school, we're going to have a teacher, and we're going to have friends, and we're going to learn about the diverse experiences of other people. And like I said before, we're going to learn how much we have in common. So the structure of the day does have a small group time so that we can promote more peer-to-peer interaction. And I use peer leaders, which is part of the PAX program, which was mentioned earlier. They take responsibility for parts of the class, and we'll design it so your child knows exactly what to do and is confident. They may be the child who goes over the group expectations at the beginning. They say, hey, we're gonna have our eyes on teacher. We're going to have our hands in our laps. We're going to do these. So they might be that person who says the rules, or they might be the person who chooses a song for the day, but they'll know and they will take ownership. And that really builds confidence in that new family setting that we have. I also make use of buddies a lot, so pairing students together to support each other. Especially by springtime, we're really working on, oh, let's not ask the teacher, did you ask a friend yet? And working on helping each other. As they go into the bigger school, they will need those skills. And like I said before, this experience is ours to build. So, you know, as I work with you very closely, I'm going to get feedback on what's working, what's frustrating, what are your concerns, and we'll generate ideas together. I mean, we might have virtual play dates or virtual pajama story time. We can create those things, or invite special guests to our Zoom meetings. So it's pretty exciting. It's going to be an adventure for sure. One other thing I wanted to say quickly, I know that Sari mentioned the pickup. I wanted to let you know that Deletta, Shannon, and I plan to be there waving from a distance with masks on. So if you wanted to bring your child by so they could get a look at us in person, we'll be there that day. And also, if you have issues with the iPad or anything, let me know. Last spring, it was constantly like, hey, I'm not able to log in. And I have 2 IAs, so we were able to problem solve with a parent right there so the child didn't miss anything. So just know that we're your first line of defense, and we will help you. And again, this is our experience together. So I'm very excited. Okay, next slide.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emma Wagner, and I'm the school counselor at Metzger. And like Principal Swindle mentioned earlier on, kind of a benefit of this year of being virtual is typically the preschool isn't in our building, but this year I'll be able to collaborate with all of you and with Peggy and support further needs. How this can look is I can do individual check-ins with kids. We might have some additional groups that are going on that your kid might fit in well with. I'm here to partnership with you guys to support your children's behavior at home in addition to Peggy. So I'm just an additional resource for you guys. And also I'm here to support with connecting families to outside counseling services if needed. You always can connect with Peggy if you have concerns and want to connect with me, or my email and phone is on here or is on the Metzger website. Next slide, please. We have a basic needs team at Metzger to support with resources. Mario, who is translating for us, is the lead of our basic needs team and does such a wonderful job communicating with families and making sure everyone's needs are met. During your connection meeting with Teacher Peggy, She'll be talking with you guys about things like Wi-Fi, food, clothing. If you're in need of any of that, you can let teacher Peggy know, and then she'll communicate that with us, with Mario or myself, and we'll get you guys those needs. We have things available like food boxes weekly, access to clothing, and such. There is more information coming soon on when breakfast and lunch service is going to be. And then there's also going to be a link in the chat to apply for free or reduced lunch. You can do that online, or there's a paper form. And then ways to connect if you need additional support is reaching out to teacher Peggy and letting her know that there are resources that you need, or you can directly call or email Mario. And next slide, please.
All right, thanks, Emma. I'm Joyce Hayner again, and I am the literacy specialist at Metzger, and I handle Title I. And I just wanted to talk briefly about early literacy foundations and how important that is to our Metzger family, because we love to read. Metzger Mustangs love literacy and love reading, and there are a ton of fun things that you can do at home that will really build those foundations for kids as they're learning to read. Things like just being interested in books, motivation to pick up a book and look at the pictures. Talking about vocabulary is huge, because the more vocabulary kids have, the more language they have to express themselves, and the more understanding that they'll have when they go into reading real books. Print concepts, I have a book here, Daniel Tiger, which my girls love. And print concepts are simply just looking, what direction do the words go? How do I turn the page? What do the letters, like looking at the letters, those are letters and those have sounds. Another thing that you can really focus on at home, if you have that pre-reader and early reader, are the letter names and sounds. Hey, you're walking around and you see, hey, I see a J. My name starts with J. What does J say? J says J. Those simple little things, talking about stories, rhyming, playing games with your kids, nursery rhymes, which we don't do very much of anymore, but those are so important to build those really pre-reading and early literacy skills at home. And I just want to make a push for doing all those fun things just to get kids excited about books and reading and looking at stories together. Next slide, please. So I'm going to push one more time. At Metzger and Metzger PreK, we love books because of what they provide for students. They give them adventures, and they are just fun, and they build family connections. And what we want to push for is reading together, or just looking at books, or talking about books, looking at letters, practicing letter sounds for about 20 minutes a day. And that will really build our foundational reading skills for when they come to us in kindergarten. They'll be all ready to read and join in the fun of books. And we love books. And I just want to say, if you do need help with anything reading related, don't hesitate to reach out to me at Metzger, and I'm happy to provide resources and fun games you can play with your kids that will really build those early reading skills. Okay, next slide, please.
Hi, I'm Andrea Johnson, and I am the PSO president for Metzger this year. If you're a parent or a guardian or a grandparent, you are part of our PSO. In previous years, we've done a lot of things like community events, dances, movie nights, carnival. Those are all things that your families are invited to. We've done fundraisers, not so much that pre-K has been involved in, but the opportunity is there if that is something that you are interested in. Jogathon, cookie dough, we have a book fair every year. We support the teachers, and we support holiday parties. One that's like a Halloween party, and one that's a Valentine's or a Friendship Day party. We also support art lit, so art literacy in the classrooms. This year it will look a little bit different since we are not all together, but we are still here to support teachers. You may see some fundraising happening, some fundraisers come through that you're welcome to be a part of if you'd like. We still support the teachers through providing things for their classrooms if they need them. We support families in whatever way. We work closely with the basic needs team and help them serve our families in whatever ways we can. We are still going to be supporting art literacy this year. So there's lots of things to look forward to. And as you move up to Metzger Elementary School, you can be part of our PSO and come to our meetings. Our next meeting is September 15th at 6:30. You're welcome to come. And please visit our website for more information. It's not quite fully updated yet, but we are working on that. Next slide, please.
All right, well, that is the end of our presentation tonight, everyone. We want to say thank you so much for joining us. We want to let you know that we do still have spaces in our AM and PM sessions for Metzger PreK. So you can either, you can email Metzger office at ttsd.k12.or.us or just Google Metzger and call the main line, and we'll get back to you very quickly. We're ready to register. And again, just having a kiddo that is 4 years old by September 1st is the only requirement. And you can tell from all these incredible people, but especially our amazing teacher, Peggy, this is an outstanding program, and your kids will have so much fun joining in on Circle and all the fun learning this year. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and have a wonderful evening.